I'm Gemma, this is Ruby. We are from Glasgow. We came along today because I grew up in a land that wasn't poisoned, where I could turn the tap on and drink the water that came out. And in fact, Scotland's water is one of Scotland's best assets. And the idea that we should destroy it to make a wee bit of money in the short term so that my daughter doesn't have a safe land to grow up in the future, that's not an idea that I can lie comfortably with.
My name is Montinaro. I'm a community councillor from the Falkirk area in Shield Hill in California, and I have been for 12 years, and I'm also a member of Concerned Communities of Falkirk. It's really basically to raise awareness about unconventional gas, and that's not just shale and fracking, that's coal bed methane and underground coal gasification. And this industry is intensive, industrialised, and people aren't aware of the scale of this industry and how it's going to impact the communities across the Central Belt and anywhere that it's going to happen, actually, down in Dumfries as well.
And we've come here today to protest with the kids against fracking in the Central Belt of Scotland. It's something that we felt strongly about and have watched all the campaigns recently, and we're just hoping that there's going to be a ban on fracking going forward, because I don't think Scotland needs it. We need more renewables, better insulation in our houses, that kind of thing, rather than fracking, because it's just going to ruin the environment and all the kind of further things with the polluting the water and the River Forth. So for our kids' sake and for everybody's sake, it's something we don't need here in Scotland. I don't think any country needs it, and it's just a quick gain in financial terms for a few people at a huge cost to everybody else.
In America, where fracking started, most of it happens in land that's completely uninhabited. There's no population there. They want to do fracking in Scotland, in the Central Belt, where 80% of Scotland's population live. We can't have that.
Well, apart from the dangers, just the scale of the industry, I think people need to grasp. Tom Crotty from Ineos actually admitted something we've been trying to get the industry to admit from day one, is the scale of the industry and how many wells are needed to extract this gas. For the coal bed methane application in Airth, they admitted eventually to 100 wells. Now, Tom Crotty a couple of weeks ago on radio actually admitted that they're going to need 200 wells per 100 kilometres square of land. But that's just for the shale. Actually, they'll need another 200 per 100 kilometres for the coal bed methane. So that means 400 per 100 kilometres squared. The pedal licence for this area, pedal 131, including Falkirk and Stirling, is 330 kilometres. For the shale, they need 700 wells, and from the coal bed methane, they need 600. That's 1,300 wells just in our pedal licence.
I would like to see fracking cease to occur anywhere on this planet. What do I know about fracking? I know quite a lot, but there's also quite a lot I don't know. Like, for example, what chemicals they're even using. A lot of this information isn't even disclosed to the public, yet they're quite happy to put these chemicals in our water supply. That's not something that I can condone. It's not something that anybody else that knows the actual details, the small amount of details they're releasing, that's enough for us to know that it's not safe.
I think after the referendum, I joined the Scottish Green Party. And that really kind of made me focus on what I believed in, and actually gave me the kind of, I think the referendum gave a lot of people the courage to actually stand up and say what they thought about things that they think they couldn't make a difference on. So, you know, it's worth a chance. If we can make a difference, let's go for it.
I'm encouraged after the referendum that people have got involved and are energised and are speaking out when they realise what's about to happen. It's something that is going to impact the majority of people, because the majority of us live in the Central Belt. 70% of the Scottish population, that's over 3.7 million people. There are organisations springing up everywhere now. There's the Briggs Says No, Clackmannanshire against unconventional gas, Denny and Dunny Pace against conventional gas. There's Concerned Communities of Falkirk, the original group. But what I would suggest people do is use their voice and actually write to our First Minister, Nicola Sturgeon, saying they don't want this, they want a ban on it. and that they want a referendum to decide whether or not the Scottish nation want unconventional gas here.
Dragging out a newborn baby in this weather for protests is not something I really would like to do. It's not something I ever saw myself doing, but it's her future that they're trying to take away from us. And if I stay at home with her and let that happen, then that would be a hell of a lot worse. It would be a lot worse than standing together and fighting this and showing the authorities that they can't sell away the land from underneath our feet.